Okay, so good morning, students. Today, first class, I will discuss the topic. Then in the next class, we will be solving numerical based on that topic. Okay, so today's topic would be your dowel bar design. Okay, so dowel bar design as per IRC method. See, dowel bar design we have learned in our previous lecture, which was based on the Bradbury's analysis, and we can say that is the old method. Okay, but with due time, what happens, there is some modification, there are some modification and which has been applied in your IRC 58 also. Okay, so we will be learning with the help of this method also. But in many semester problem exam, they used to give from your old method. Okay, they used to give data which are used in the old method. But if you learn this method, you can easily solve dollar. You can mention that I am solving, or this problem has been solved as per IRC 58. Okay, you have to mention it, okay, before solving this problem, because in the question, data that are provided will be from the old method. Okay, but if you want to solve it by this new method, then you have to please mention, write down, write about this, whether this method is old or new. Okay, this one you have to mention before solving this problem. Now see, let us solve, let us discuss or make our funda clear. Okay, first tell me what is dowel bar. Today's class will be like more like interactive. Okay, I want every student to interact here. So please respond. Okay. So tell me what is dowel bar. In from last since last two lectures, last three lectures, I have been telling you many times. Okay, what is dowel bar? What is tie bar? What is longitudinal joint? What is transverse joint? What are the purpose of dowel bar? What is the purpose of tie bar? This I have already explained. So can you tell me what is dowel bar, and in which joint we generally provide? See, tie bar and dowel bar both are used in the joints only. Okay, not throughout the slab. Throughout the slab there will be reinforcement. That is another thing. Okay, that comes under RCC. But wherever there are the joints, there will be gap. This means there is some discontinuity, right? So these structures are what? These portions are weak in structure. So in order to prevent failure due to wheel load, due to any kind of stresses, okay, what we are doing, we are providing some extra reinforcement among these joints. Okay, along these joints. So there are basically two types of the joint, and based on that only I have tell that one is tie bar, another is dowel bar. Now tell me what is dowel bar.
ম্যাম যে বারটা ট্রাফিকের সাথে থাকে মানে দেওয়া হয়
Sathe,
ট্রাফিক মানে না না
parallel in
ট্রাফিক
the
হ্যাঁ
direction,
প্যারালাল
right? Yes.
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
Suppose this is your traffic, okay, direction. This is a traffic direction, wheel direction. Okay, you are moving in this direction. So see, parallel to this direction are the dowel bars. Okay, and what is this joint then? What is this joint where we are placing this dowel bar? What is?
ট্রান্সভার্স জয়েন্ট
Yes, this is transverse joint. Okay, very good. So, and see, this joint is perpendicular to the direction of the traffic. Okay, now tell me, then what are these joints? Sorry, what are this reinforcement which are placed in the longitudinal joint? This is the longitudinal joint. Okay, they are placed here in this joint. Then what are these joint? Sorry, what are these bars? This is dowel bar, and this is hmm? If this is dowel bar, then what is this? Which bar? Hmm? Apart from reinforcement, what are the two types of the bars that has been used in the rigid
ম্যাম
pavement?
টাই
One is,
বার
yes, this is dowel bar, this is tie bar. Okay, they are tying the two slab together. Okay, but dowel bar, what is the purpose? We will see. Main purpose is to transfer this wheel load, okay, from this slab to the adjacent slab. That is the main purpose of this dowel bar. That's why it is called load transfer dowel bar group. Why group? These are groups of bars. Okay, So we have to design this bar only. Design means what? As I said, what is the length of the bar, what is the cross sectional area of this bar, and what is the spacing between the two successive bar. Okay, so these are the design which we need to do. Now see, this is a top view, this is your longitudinal section view. Okay, section means what? If we cut this slab or the roadway, okay, from here, then if we look from this side, from side, then it will look like this. See, this is the thickness of the slab. Okay, and it has been placed at which thickness? At the depth of t by 2. Okay, half of the depth, somewhere in middle of the slab we are placing this dowel bar. See, and this gap has been filled up by what? Filler material, and it is sealed by this sealant. Why? Because if it is not sealed, then what happens? Water may penetrate inside it. Okay, if water penetrates, then what happens? Below this is the subgrade soil, right, which is compacted layer of soil. So if water penetrates through these gaps, if by chance it reaches in the subgrade layer, then what happens? Here load is being applied, and this the water which has penetrated, they start to loosen the particle. Okay, they start to lose this compacted layer. Then if here your if load is applied here, then there is the support beneath it is what? Now it is weak, right? It has loosened its strength because all the soil particles, they have loosened their strength. Okay, then if will load acts here, then your failure may occur. Okay, this will deform and some cracks will be developed here. Okay, so failure will occur. Okay, so for this reason we need to fill or fill as well as seal with this gap with some sealant materials. Okay, now comes the see here filler board, compressible joint filler 2 to 2.5 centimeter. So the thickness or the gap of this expansion joint should be 2 to 2.5 centimeter. Okay, filler depth is 255 millimeter lower than the slab thickness. It will be little bit clear. Okay, whereas the dowel bar to be covered with plastic seal as is at the half of the length plus 50 mm. Okay, that means this length is actually how much? This is the half of the length. Okay, see, this is the total length of the dowel bar. So this much is how much? Half of the length plus 50 mm. Extra 50 mm we have to provide length. Okay, now comes the purpose of the dowel bar. See here, first, to transfer load, this I have already explained, to transfer the load between two concrete slab. Okay, and to keep the slab in same height. See here, if there is no reinforcement, or this is suppose expansion joint. Okay, this is one slab and this is adjacent slab. If there is no reinforcement, then what happens? Because of this traffic load, it is deformed in this direction. Okay, this slab will try to deform in this direction. Okay, whereas this one is in its original position. Again, when it passes from this slab to this slab, then what happens? See, it is deformed here, whereas this slab is moving in its original position. Okay, so there is what? Again, there is the two slabs are not at the same height, so differential deflection is occurring. Okay, so because of which your corner crackings may develop. Okay, now come this one is very important. Dowel bar groups are designed in such a way that they will transfer 40% of the wheel load. That means 40% of the wheel load means, see here, see the diagram. This is the wheel load. Okay, suppose the total wheel load which is acting on this particular slab, okay, which is acting on this slab one, and this is your two slab. Okay, suppose I am writing it as one slab, two slab, two numbers, one number. Okay, so this is what? This is the P load. Okay, so dowel bar group, not the single dowel bar, total dowel. If there are four dowel bar, then that four number of dowel bar all together, they will transfer this P, some portion of this P load from this slab to this slab. Okay, then what is the portion that has been transferred? What will be the portion or the percentage that has been transferred by this group of dowel bar from this 1 number slab to 2 number slab? What is the percentage? What is the percentage? See, 40%, right? See, so we have to design the dowel bar such that they will transfer 40% of this P from this slab number 1 to slab number 2 if your wheel load is above the slab number 1 at this position. Okay, if your wheel load is at this position in the slab number 1, then what happens? This group of dowel bar will transfer 40% of wheel load, this wheel load, to the adjacent slab number 2. Okay, if there are four number of dowel bar or if there are 5 number of dowel bar, then total altogether they will transfer 40% of P. Okay, not individual, all together. If there are 4, then 4 bars will transfer total load of 40% of the P. Is it clear? And see, if there is dowel bar, then what happens? There is no differential deflection, right? When your wheel load is here, the level is same. When the wheel load is transferred here, it is same. So no differential deflection. Okay, that means there is no jerking, right? So you will feel comfortable, or your riding will be comfortable if the joints are what to say, connected with this dowel bars. Okay, instead of like this. See, if it happens, then there will be jerking. So you will feel uncomfortable while riding in such pavements. Okay. Now see, before starting the design procedure or whatever basics, okay, funda, we have to see the criteria, or we have to see the specifications. Okay, see specifications as per IS 432 grade 1 for plain, mild steel. These are the classification, okay, of the dowel bar. That means for this much thickness of the slab, the dia that we can use for dowel bar is how much? 32 mm. And what is the length? 450 mm. Okay, and spacing is 300 mm. Whereas for thickness 300 mm, it is 38 mm dia, length is 500 mm, and spacing is 300 mm. Okay, why we are considering this? For design. Whenever we do design, we will take values within this range only. Okay, we will take value within this range, then we will do check whether that particular assumed value of dia or assumed value of length or assumed value of spacing are satisfying the criteria or not. Okay, that criteria I will be explaining soon. Now comes the principle. See here, principle. This is the main funda, that they will transfer 40%. This thing you have to remember. Okay, they will transfer 40%. In the design also we will see, we are using this formula. Okay, we will be using this concept, 40% of this is wheel load. Okay, now the two important thing that we need to calculate for in this design of dowel bar with the help of new method or IRC 58 method is, these are the two stresses. Okay, two factors which we need to calculate. First factor is what? The maximum bearing stress between concrete and the dowel bar, and it is denoted by stress bearing. Okay, so bearing stress maximum. Okay, so maximum bearing stress between concrete and dowel bar. Okay, and the second is allowable bearing stress in concrete, which is FB. Okay, this is your strength, that is your inner strength. Okay, whereas this is the external stresses which is generating. Okay, this is the how much stress you can tackle, and this is actually what is the stress that has been applied to you. Okay, so we can say this is your semester paper, toughness of semester paper, and this is your preparation. Clear? So this thing you have to remember for designing. Your inner strength should always be greater than the external force or external stress, right? Then only you can survive. Similarly, here also in case of design of dowel bar, the inner strength or the allowable bearing stress of the concrete should be greater than the stress, maximum bearing stress between concrete and dowel bar. That is, this value should be greater than this one. Simply remember, this is your semester paper. Okay, S. And whereas this is your preparation. Okay, preparation for the semester. Obviously, if your preparation is greater than the semester paper, that means the toughness of the semester paper, you will pass the exam. Okay, where that means it is safe for you, that paper is safe for you. If your preparation is very poor or less compared to the toughness of the semester paper, that means you may there is a chance that you may fail. Okay, so same way here also, for design your FB should be lesser than greater than your SBM. This criteria has to be satisfied. Okay, now before satisfying this criteria, what we need to some assume data. Okay, we need to assume some data. Say for example, what should be the dia, okay, what should be the length, what should be the spacing. This thing we will be assuming, and we will calculating these two factors, then we will comparing whether this is greater or this is greater. Then we can say whatever, if this satisfy that this your preparation is greater than the semester paper, that means whatever data that you have assumed, okay, those data are perfect. Okay, those data are safe, your design is safe. So let us see how to calculate these two things. Okay, now before calculating this thing, I would like to clear some concept, because we will be calculating, we will be using these formulas while calculating SBM. Okay, now what is this? See here, suppose, see, suppose this is your slab. Okay, your slab is going like this. Okay, your direction of traffic is like this, or we can say perpendicular to the direction of this screen, but I am drawing here isometric view. So suppose this is the direction of the traffic. Okay, now your traffic or wheel load is at this position. Okay, so tell me which is the edge of the edge will be this one. Okay, please remember, this is the edge, this is the edge of the pavement. Edge means outer end. Okay, outer side of the pavement, this is your edge. Okay, and we know that whenever our wheel load is at the, there are three critical position, right? Interior, corner and edge, and we have already described that, we have already seen that at the edge stress is always greater compared to the inner and the your center. Okay, corner. So among these three critical position, edge position is the most critical. That means maximum stress will be developed when vehicle travels through the edge of the pavement. Okay, that is wheel load at the edge creates maximum stress. So that's why I have taken this wheel load somewhere at the edge. Okay, suppose this is that position. Now this is what? This is your first dowel bar. Okay, this is your first dowel bar from the edge. So if we draw like this, inside it will be like this. Okay, half of the length is in this slab and half of the will be in this slab. Okay, somewhere here, because one more slab will be here, like this, one more slab will be here. Okay, so one more slab will be here. See, half of the slab is inside this slab, where half of the dowel length is inside this slab and half will be inside this slab. Okay, this thing I am not considering, I am only considering this one. Okay, now, so suppose this is the edge, or we can say the first dowel bar from the edge. Okay, the second dowel bar from the edge, third dowel bar from the edge, like this it will keep on going. Okay, then over which dowel bar maximum stress, or we can say maximum force will be applied? Which one? Tell me. If this is the position of the wheel load, okay, so which dowel bar will have to carry maximum load, or we can say have to transfer maximum amount of load? Which one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one? Purpose of this, yes, purpose of this dowel bar group is what? To transfer load from this slab to the adjacent slab. Okay, this is somewhere, adjacent slab is somewhere here. Okay, so the purpose of this group of dowel bar, suppose here are 4, we have 4 number of dowel bars, so total 4 people, these are the 4 peoples. Okay, so total 4 people will transfer this load, which is suppose P, this is P. They have to, we have to design in such a way that they will transfer how much? 40% of P. Okay, 40% of P altogether. 4 of them all together, they will transfer 40% of P. Okay, not the total P. Now tell me, among these 4 people, who will transfer or who will carry maximum load, maximum 40% of P? Which one? Bolo. 1, 2, 3 or 4? Which one will carry the maximum amount of load? Or which one will transfer maximum, rather we can say which one will transfer maximum amount of load? Which rod? 1, 2, 3, 4.
One.
Yes, 1. Okay. Suppose the load transferred by this first rod from the edge, okay, first rod from the edge is PT. See here, it is PT, right? This is PT. Okay. So suppose the load transferred by this this bar is P suffix T. It will be maximum. Okay. Whereas, what is the load transfer by this then? Suppose we will say it as, suppose this is PT1, this is PT2, load transfer, okay. This is PT3 and this is your PT4, okay. This is load transfer by first bar is PT1, second PT2, PT3, PT4, okay. Now tell me, PT1 plus PT2 plus PT3 plus PT4 equals to how much? What will be the summation of PT1 plus PT2 plus PT3? What will be the summation? Altogether, what is the load they will transfer? How much load they have to transfer altogether? As per the design, if this load is P, then what is the load transferred by all this dowel bar together? That is PT1 plus PT2 plus PT3 plus PT4, right? Now this will be equals to how much? What will be the value of this thing? If will load is P, then the total load transferred by this group of dowel bar is how much? What did I say? What the purpose of the dowel bar is to transfer the load. Then what is that amount of the load that will transfer?
40% of load.
Yes, 40% of P, right? Clear? If the wheel load is P, then altogether they will transfer 40% of P. So we can write PT1 plus PT2 plus PT3 plus PT4 is 40% of P. Clear? This is clear, right? Now, as I said, the maximum load transferred by the among this group of dowel bar, the maximum load transferred is by first, okay, first wheel load, sorry, first dowel bar, which is PT1. Okay, suppose I assume this as PT only. Okay, let us take PT1 as PT. Then with the help of this PT value, we will calculate the PT2, PT3 and PT4. Okay, now how we will do that? See here, see PT1, this is PT1, okay, this distance is PT1, okay, and as we go inner side from the edge, your load will be reducing. Then comes PT2, okay, then comes PT3, okay, then comes PT4. Suppose these are the magnitude of the load transferred by each rod, okay, each dowel bar. First is PT1, see this values bigger compared to the other three, okay, other two values. See PT2, then PT3, then it is reducing, right? So if we draw, it will form like this triangular shape, okay, this like a triangle. So they are reducing, the magnitude is reducing. Okay, now we need to calculate this PT2 value, PT3 value, PT4. We have assumed PT1 as PT. Okay, now tell me, what is the gap between this individual rod? What is this gap? What is this gap known as? What is this gap known as? Hmm? The gap between two successive reinforcement bar is known as, क्या बोलते हैं इसको, बोलो. What is this gap between two successive? What is the technical word? What we call this gap? Hmm? Suppose this is one student, this is another student, this is third, then this is fourth. The gap between them, there is one technical name. Yeah. So what is that name? See, here I've written S. S means what? S means what? Hmm? While designing, what are the parameters that we have to design? In case of dowel bar, what we need to design? Diameter, length, and diameter, length, and hmm? Hello, am I audible?
হ্যাঁ ম্যাম।
So these are what? These are S. S means what?
ডিস্টেন্স।
Spacing,
ও সরি, স্পেসিং।
right? So these are the spacing. Okay, that's why I have written it as S. Okay. Now you know this distance are the spacing. You know this magnitude, and you know that they are forming a triangle. Okay, they are this is at a constant rate they are reducing. Okay, if we draw, then it will form a triangle of this, like this. Okay, now you know this length for this big triangle, for this big triangle, for this big triangle, you know the length, right? This is PT. Okay, this is PT. Whereas this point is what? From here to here, that distance is L. Okay, that is called the radius of relative stiffness. Okay, that means if your this thing penetrates, they will form like what? They will form like a soccer, right? They will form like a ball structure. If suppose on a paper, if you put marble, okay, somewhere between, if you put marble of certain weight, then what happens? This paper will try to sink, right, in this direction. They will try to, sorry, move down. Okay, and they will form like what? Like a ball structure, right? Like a ball structure they will form. So what is that radius? That radius is known as the radius of relative stiffness. Okay, that is called the radius of relative stiffness. That means its effect, the effect of this weight, okay, will end till here. Okay, this effect, this ball will affect this paper till the radius of relative stiffness. Okay, so this much distance you will get the effect. At this distance you will get the effect. After this there will be no effect of this weight. Okay, so that a radius is known as the radius of relative stiffness. Similarly, for this, it is seen that the it effect will be till here. Okay, that is, this is called the radius of relative stiffness, which is written here as L. Okay, 1.0 L. Theoretically it was 1.8 L, but practically it is seen that it will be 1 L, 1 times of L. Okay, so that's why it is, instead of 1.8 in our previous old method, we have considered that radius of this effect as 1.8 L. Okay, but here in new version or in modified version, this has been reduced to L only. Okay, so this distance is L. So from this diagram we can see that base of this blue triangle is L, height of this blue triangle is PT. Okay, now suppose you will draw another triangle. Okay, whose height is PT2. Now what is the base then? Tell me what will be the base of this green color triangle. This, see, blue triangle and green triangle, both are what? Both triangles are what? Are they similar triangle or they are not similar triangle? See, this blue color and this green color, they are similar triangle, right? Because see, this angle is same, this is 90 degree, then obviously this angle will also be same. So they are similar triangles. Okay. Now from this blue color, your height is PT, depth, sorry, your base is L. Okay. For green triangle, your height is PT2. Now what is the base then? What is this base? What will be the value of this base or length of this base, green color? From here to here, what is the value? The total distance is L. Okay, and these are the individual spacing we know. So what is this distance then? From the diagram, tell me. What is this green distance? Hmm?
L minus 2s.
L minus 2s. See, L minus,
ম্যাম ওই টোটাল এক্সটা হবে ওখান থেকে
that is
বলতে গেছি।
S. See, L minus only S. Okay, this thing we are starting from this point. Okay, from this point, right? And then what is this distance? If this is total L, then this is S. Okay, so what is this distance then? L minus S. Okay, so for green, base is how much? L minus S. For red, sorry, for blue, base is how much? L. For green, height is how much? PT2. And for green, for blue, height is how much? PT. So can we use the similar triangle formula? That is PT, that is height of the blue bigger triangle, minus base of the bigger triangle, which is L, okay, equals to height of the smaller triangle, which is PT2, okay, divided by base of the smaller triangle, which is L minus S. Okay, so from here, what is the value of PT2 then? Then PT2 equals to how much? That is PT by L is equals to PT2 by L minus S. So what is PT2 value? PT2 is PT into L minus S by L. Simple, right? See here, that's the formula that I have obtained here. PT into L minus S by L. Clear? Is it clear?
হ্যাঁ ম্যাম।
See, simple. If we do here, PT divided by L, okay, equals to, this was your PT2. PT2 divided by L minus S. Okay, so simply simplify and we will get this green color distance, that is PT2 is equals to PT into L minus S by L. Okay, similarly you can calculate this also. Okay, for this triangle, tell me now what is the, this height is how much? This was your PT3. See, third, right? Third, for third dowel bar, what is the load transfer? So PT3. Okay, now what is this distance then? How much is this distance now? What is this distance? What is this distance? From here to here it was L. Okay, from here to here it is L. See here, it's given. From here to here it is L. Okay, from, and the gap between each dowel bar is S. Now tell me what is this blue color length then? This one. What is this length? Blue color. How much is this length? If total length is L and individual distance is S, then what is this distance, blue color length? পারবে বলতে? হ্যালো, বাকিরা রেসপন্স করো, শুধু পৃথায় করে যাচ্ছে কেন? বাকিরাও করো।
হ্যাঁ ম্যাম।
তো বলো কত হবে? হোয়াট ইজ দিস লেন্থ, ব্লু কালার? ডায়াগ্রাম দেখে বলো। This total distance is L, okay, and this individual distance is S. So what is this blue color length?
দুটোকে মাইনাস দিয়ে দিলে
Yes, simple. That is L minus 2S, right? See, L minus S minus S, that is L minus 2S, right? Now see, this blue length is L minus 2S, this blue height is PT2, PT3, okay? Now from bigger triangle, the height is PT and the length is L, okay? Now what is the relationship between these things? It will be, tell me, PT by L is equals to, see, PT by L, since both are similar triangle, so we can write PT perpendicular by base of this bigger triangle equals to perpendicular by base of this smaller triangle. The perpendicular was how much? PT3, and your base is how much? L minus 2S, okay? So if we simplify it, we are getting PT3 as how much? PT3 as
PT into L minus 2S divided by L.
yes, so L minus 2S by L into PT, right? The same, see here, this arrow, this distance is equals to how much? PT into L minus 2S by L, okay? So is it clear?
yes ma'am.
So similarly, PT4 will be how much? PT into L minus, how many distance we have to subtract? 1, 2, 3, okay, for this small triangle. You see, PT into L minus 3S by L, okay, clear? So this was your PT1, this was your PT2, this was your PT3, this was your PT4, and we know that PT1 plus PT2 plus PT3 plus PT4 equals to 40% of P, which is will load, okay? So that thing we have discussed here. See here, see, PT1 plus PT2, like that we have done, okay? We have calculated with respect to the PT value, that is the edge. PT is what? PT is what? The load transfer by the edge, okay? First dowel bar at the edge, that is PT. Then with respect to PT, we are calculating other PT values, okay, which is PT1, PT2, like that. See, if we sum up this, all this PT value, we will get 40% of P, okay? So simply see, first load transfer by the first bar at the edge, load transfer by the second bar at the edge, load transfer by the third bar from the edge, fourth bar, okay? Similarly, we will go on till this value is either 0 or negative. That means how many dowel bar we have to place, it depends upon this value, okay? This is what this value is. If this is positive, we will add that value. Suppose L minus 4S, if it is positive, then we will add, okay? Now see, if L minus 5S, it is coming as 0 or negative, then we will not add that value, okay? So if this is the case, then how many bars we are applying, we are placing? 1, 2, 3, 4. If another one more term is added, then 5 number of bars, that is 5 number of bars are used in dowel group bar, okay? So all this together, they are transferring 40% of design wheel load, which is 40% of P. So clear till here?
Yes ma'am.
Ma'am.
Okay, now we will go to the calculations, okay? That is, what are the values? For I said we need to calculate two values. Two values means your SBM and FB, okay? For calculating SBM, we need all this thing. That's why I have derived this first. If we go directly use this formula, then you won't understand, okay? That's why we are deriving how, or we are explaining how, from where it is coming, this formula, okay? Now see, Specification, as I said, 25 diameter should be within this range. You have to assume dia first, okay? So it should be within this range, 2.5 to 3.2 centimeter or 25 to 32 centimeter. Length should be about 500 mm, that is 50 centimeter is the maximum length. You should assume length below 50 centimeter, okay, not above 50 centimeter. Then spacing also within this range, 250 to 300 mm or 25 to 30 centimeter, okay. So this thing you have to keep it in mind before starting. See, the maximum bearing stress formula is this one, okay. You need not to remember this formula, it is already given in your IRC 58, okay. If we go there, it's already there. See here, the FV formula, okay. Then comes your SBM formula, okay. So this is your SBM formula, okay. The same formula here, instead of MC, so same formula, okay. I will explain this. So this is the formula. See, SBM equals to MC into PT 2 plus beta Z divided by 4 beta cube E suffix S. This is E suffix X, okay, into I. Now here there are so many terms. That means you have to calculate all these terms. See here, we need to have the value of PT. Whereas PT is what? For calculating SBM, we must know PT. Now PT is what? PT, as I said, it is the maximum load transferred by the dowel bar. Now which dowel bar will transfer maximum load? Which is at the edge, okay. So which is at the edge, see, this bar will transfer maximum loads. So that is the PT value. How much load it will transfer? That is PT. SBM, as I said, this is the maximum bearing stress between concrete and dowel bar. Unit you should remember, okay, see, kg per centimeter square. MC is what? Modulus of dowel concrete interaction or the dowel support. Unit is what? Kg per centimeter cube. In many problems, they will give you this value or you need to assume, and this is the assumed value, okay. You have to assume this value for MC, okay, which is 41500. Here, instead of MC in this formula, they have given K, okay. See here, 41500. Instead of MC, they have given K, okay. So next is your B. See, while calculating these things, we need one formula where there will be term B, okay. So B is what? Diameter of the bar. It should lies between 2.5 to 3.2 centimeter. ES is what? Modulus of elasticity of steel dowel, okay. And if it is not provided, assumption is this much, 2 into 10 to the 6 kg per centimeter square. Z is width of the joint, that means expansion joint, where we are providing dowel bar in the expansion joint, okay. So what is the width? That is Z, okay. I is what? Moment of inertia of dowel bar, and this is the formula. See here, pi by 64 into b to the power 4. So B is actually dia of the bar in centimeter, okay. See here, B is there, this I have described here. Now comes the beta. Beta is relative stiffness of dowel bar embedded in the concrete, and this is the formula. MC B, see, MC is your 41500. B is your diameter of the dowel bar. E we know, that is the modulus elasticity of dowel bar, 2 into 10 to the 6, and I is known, moment of inertia, where formula of I is this one. So basically we need these three formulas. See here, I formula is this, beta formula is this, okay. With the help of I and beta, we will be getting SBM, okay. So there are many formulas, okay. This thing you know from a structural analysis subject, okay. And so for calculating beta, we must have I, and for calculating I, we must have B. That means we have to assume the diameter first, okay. So we have to assume the diameter, then only we can solve this equation, okay. So I will stop here in this lecture. In the next lecture, which is from 11, okay, from 11, you please join after 11, at 11, sharp at 11, then we will solve the numerical, okay. Take a break for at least how much, 10 minutes, then we will join at 11. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. So please be available. Okay, those who are here for the first class.